see, you know, things like that. Just want to check out what's going on with the hip haps and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and get tapped in. You know, we got to read that disclosure, that disclaimer first. So, of course, please note that the following is not legal advice and is provided for informational and educational purposes only. Investing in securities carries a high degree of risk and can result in the loss of your entire investment. You should consult with a qualified financial advisor or legal professional before making any investment decisions. The information contained in this presentation does not constitute an offer or solicitation of securities or other financial instruments. Any opinions expressed in this presentation are subject to change without notice and should not be relied upon as a recommendation to buy or sell any securities. Change without notice and should not be relied upon as a recommendation to buy or sell any securities. All right, we got Earl, we got Mo Undin 582, we got TH Graham, we got Yoshi, we got J Vids. I see people coming through. We got 5 people. Let's see what TikTok is saying. All right. Justice, Tan, Kenneth DuPont, Douglas O'Day. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank you for coming through. Looks like might be frozen on the live. That's what it's saying. It looks like the connection is bad. All right. What's up, Trey? Mason Green. So what we want to talk about today, of course, is the trade of the day. So let me go ahead and bring up the Discord, show y'all what I shouted out to the community. And so I actually did pretty good today. I'm actually proud of myself. I had a few base hits out there for the community today. I threw out a few plays. They all hit. One of our Discord members put us on the puts for Starbucks. Those paid out pretty good. But I want to talk about the trade that I called out for today, which was after Amazon kind of bottomed out after the earnings release, right? They reported earnings. After Amazon bottomed out, near the bottom, or maybe somewhere towards the bottom, I went ahead and called out calls for Amazon. This was today. And so this was the play of the day. And then I went ahead and I sold some. So I want to show y'all what I looked at when Amazon was doing its thing. All right, Schmat says, how you feel about coin? We'll talk about that in just a moment. But let's get in here and take a look at the play of the day with Amazon. I'm going to close out some of these tabs. You guys know how this thing starts acting funny on me when I get going. But we'll get into the play of the day, which was really after Amazon kind of really shook everybody and probably took a lot of stop losses out of people. Let me go ahead and break this all down. All right, so here we got Amazon. Let's bring it up. And we all saw this. I think we all saw this crazy kind of like double top that happened. And so we'll go back and we will check it out in the Discord, right? So if you're new to my Discord, just remember, I'm in California. I'm on the West Coast. So if you see timestamps anywhere when I'm on live or my screenshots or my video or anything like that, if you see a timestamp, that is West Coast time. So if you're looking at your chart or you're comparing your trades or timing or whatever the case may be to mine, just remember that I'm in California. I'm on the West Coast. So at 6:46 West Coast time, so about 16 minutes after the market opened up, that's when I alerted that I was in Amazon calls. And so we can go back to the trading view chart and see that this first candle here, I trade on the 30-minute chart. So if you're new to my TikTok, if you're new to my live, I'm more of a scalper and I trade on the 30-minute chart. So we had this first 30-minute candle on Amazon that was like a crazy bearish hammer. And then, let me make sure, hold on. I think I might have my time wrong. Let me go back. Yep, it says 6:46. Amazon on the calls. Why does this look wild? Why does that not seem like it's lining up right? All right, so 6:46 on the Amazon calls. Let me make sure. Yep, today. All right, it's seeming so weird. Why does that seem so weird? That's why 6:30. And then the next one, that just doesn't seem right because I would have been stopped out. What is going on with this? What's going on with this chart? Yo, Tom Candy, thanks for coming through. Linda Wegner, thank you for coming through. So we're just looking at the trade of the day. I called Amazon calls and was able to make some money. I might need to break the chart down. I'm trying to see what I was seeing earlier on the 15-minute chart because I called calls. Yo, Sherry Bull, thank you for the follow. I called calls and it must have been within this 15-minute wick here. which is odd because I only traded on the 30-minute chart. So how I spotted that, I'm not too sure. But this quick little scalp session, right when this candle opened up, was the scalp for calls that I got. And then, of course, we saw this kind of push down into the market all day. Then J-Pal started to talk and ran the market up, and then we dropped right back down. But I wanted to talk about what I was seeing, which might have been mainly purely a little bit inadvertently. This kind of strong, even though it was a bearish hammer, this kind of strong bearish hammer at times does signify a little bit still of a push to the upside, right? Because we had enough of the buyers or the bulls to pull the price back up, to snap the price back up from this down area to pull it up. Let me take off these drawings because they might not be doing us any justice. Give me just a moment. All right, remove drawings. There we go, just to clean this up a little bit. And then I'm going to turn off the wedge maker because that's adding some unnecessary lines. Cool. All right. So, or was it put? Was that puts? It was calls. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I'm tripping out on my own trades. Yo, hi. Thank you for coming through. Let me make sure I didn't miss any comments. Amazon IV crushed me. Yeah. Did you get in before? Schmat, did you get in before the earnings was released? Did you get in yesterday? If you guys remember, when I talk about playing earnings, because I've gotten burned so many times playing earnings, the way that I play earnings now is getting in on the next day or after the numbers have been released, and then seeing which way the momentum is going. I'm actually kind of crazy surprised that at 6:46 I called these calls because something wasn't looking just right, but fortunately, you know what? I know exactly what happened. Okay, I know exactly what happened. I don't know why it's kind of slipping my mind. Let me go back to the 30-minute chart. I should probably use the replay button. So we got the 30-minute chart right here on Amazon. At one point, when this was first forming, this kind of top side hammer, if you will, I don't know if you want to consider this as like a bearish hammer or whatever the case may be, or an inverted shooter, but when this was forming right about this section, I had called calls because it was looking like we're going to have more push to the upside to reach the previous day's high. Now, that was a very, very risky trade, and looking back, I'm not that proud of it, but it did turn out to be one of the plays of the day. So a real quick scalp right in here for calls, got in and out. Wasn't greedy at all. And as a matter of fact, if we look at the timestamps over here, you can see I was only in the trade for the bulk of it for about 3 minutes. So a quick, swift scalp. No hesitation, got in, got out. I quickly was trying to do the screenshots as fast as I could to the community. Boom. I ended up selling 10 of the 12 contracts that I bought. And then I let 2 of them run for just a little bit. And even with that push up, I sold those last 2 for a little bit of profit. So it worked out well, worked out good. And then the next play that I called was XOM puts. Now this one was a little tricky too, so we could go take a look at XOM puts. For sure, you'll be back to here talk about coin. That's what's up. Thanks, Matt. Schmat. Thanks, Schmat. All right, so we're going to talk about XOM puts. Now the thing about ExxonMobil puts was I actually double dipped today, so I am swinging the puts. Like I said, if you guys have been on my live before, I've been saying that I've been wanting to get more into swing trades and get into the longer trades. So I'm currently in swinging puts on ExxonMobil, but I do want to show y'all at least the play first while that loads up. So at 7:45 West Coast time, just a reminder, I trade on California. I'm in the West Coast. So at 7:45, I alerted that I was in ExxonMobil puts. You can see here, date bought May 1st. Let me move myself out the way so y'all can see it. Boom, I bought 10 contracts. Alerted that, and that was at, let's double check the time, 7:45. So let's go ahead and get to this chart over here on ExxonMobil, bring it back down to that 30. All right, and this one was a pretty obvious one, right? If you came out the gate today bearish on the market, there was actually ways to make money on both sides, but if you came out the gate bearish on the market, there's plenty of opportunities to make money. Now, I got into the puts originally right after this candle. So we had this strong bearish candle form right here at 7 o'clock. Then we had another strong bearish candle form. So now we got trend and we've got momentum. So that's that 7 o'clock candle, the 7:30 candle. And then as we saw, I got in at 7:45. So it was right in between the two of these right here. I rode those puts down a little bit, and then I was able to take profits. But that was purely based off of the trend and momentum. So if you're new to trading, you could keep your trading style very simple. Like they say, that old adage, that old phrase, the trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. So basically, when it came to ExxonMobil and most of the market, I've been kind of following this trend for a couple of days now. This new trend that kind of started, in my opinion. But today we saw that strong bearish momentum to the downside. Hopped in on some of those puts. And then as you can see right here, I went ahead and sold out for 70 bucks. I'm not greedy. So I'm a conservative trader, right? I'm a real conservative trader. That's the longest short of it for me. But I do want to show y'all. Okay, so here's my rationale. For all of us that are rocking with me right now, Liv, thank you for coming through. It's good to see you. William Moses, thank you for the follow. Big shout out to William Moses. I appreciate that. What's going on? What's going on? All right, so who's tapped in with us right now? TikTok is saying Justice, Sherry Bull, Austin, Alma. Big shout out to Alma. Brian, Cesar, Arm. Big shout out to Small Bags Daily. Yo, what's up? So I talked about the Exxon puts, but I wanted to offer my a little bit of my analysis. So this is what I told the community today. I entered XOM as a swing trade idea, but ultimately felt like I should have had a better entry, which caused me to exit early. I don't think it would be a bad idea to ride the trend line down on the daily chart until it breaks trend structure. So I put that as my rationale, right? It's Migis. Thank you for following. Thank you for the follow. But I put that in as my rationale. Getting this trend line down on the daily chart, right? Then we got some people in the Discord. We got people dropping gems. And then I identified what appeared to be, and this is debatable, a gap from some time ago, from a couple weeks ago, that looks like it needs to be filled on ExxonMobil. Let me kind of bring that up so we can see it. I'll move myself out the way. But yeah, so right there, I identify what appears to be a gap that may need to be filled. Now it's debatable. If you zoom in right here, you'll probably see that maybe the gap was already filled. But so in thinking about that quick scalp that I did, so just to show y'all really quick, right? I got in Exxon puts, got out, made that quick 70 bucks, but I was still thinking, okay, it still is in trend, right? It hasn't broke structure. And so ultimately I did re-enter for the swing trade on scalps, which was, or not scalps, but on the puts, which was very, very tough, very, very unbearable, because of course I made a rookie move with J Powell talking. So of course Jerome Powell started to talk about FOMC and interest rates, and originally when I got into the puts, I got in at 116.17. I made a little line right here just to indicate where I entered. So I entered at 116.17. And at first it started really good. It dropped down. Those puts shot up in value. And then right about here is where J Powell started talking, brought the market back up. And then fortunately, in the last 30 minutes of the day, pushed it right back down. But I am still currently holding those puts, and I'm going to ride them downward for as long as they're in structure on the downside. Now, once they break structure, if they do before I reach my profit target, of course, I'll get stopped out and I'll get out of the trade. But I'm going to continue to ride them on down. All right, Douglas Brown 9095. Douglas Brown 9095 says, what platform am I using? So this is a charting platform called TradingView. It is a charting platform called TradingView. I'll bring it up on the interwebs, on the internets, so that we can see it. Let me move me out the way. And so just so you can see what the website looks like, Douglas, I'll show you right now. Yo, thank y'all for the likes. We hit a quick 500. I think that's from the one and only Liv. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so just so Douglas can see the website. Oops, TradingView. Here you go, Douglas. So this is what it looks like. This is what you're gonna kind of Google and go to, tradingview.com. And so they have an app for the phone. They have a desktop app that you can download, whether it's for PC or Mac OS, Apple. Or they have the website browser that you can use as well. So I'll show you what it looks like on the website browser. And sometimes I really prefer to use the browser anyway, but here's what the TradingView website looks like for you, Douglas. So just so you can see what it looks like, but for sure. Yep, no problem, no problem. All right, Cardi Wida.K, what do you think about RSI as an indicator? TradingView is for free. All right, give me just a second. So at AG, TradingView does have a free version where you just sign up and you can do some charting. And of course, like all companies and websites and platforms, they do have a paid version that you can sign up for where you version. But to be honest, I feel like I really don't use it to its full capabilities and its extent. So sign up for the free one, give it a shot for a couple of weeks or a month, see if you feel like you need to pay for it, and if so, sign up and pay for it. If not, just continue to use the free one. All right. So Cardiwita.k, what do you think about RSI as an indicator? I don't like to talk bad about anything. I will say when I first got into options trading, RSI was really big. I will say that I will probably use RSI more so as a way to determine when I should buy stocks for my long-term portfolio, right? Because obviously when RSI is high, that means it's overbought, and when RSI is low, that means it's oversold, right? But I really don't use RSI for my trading. And like I said, I'm a scalper and more so a day trader. And just from my experience, RSI hasn't really done me too well on the very small short time frames. Now on the long time frame, when I'm looking for a good entry for something from my long-term portfolio, then yeah, RSI is good, right? Because I want to see that low RSI for it being oversold, and then I go ahead and hop into whatever I want to add, or if I'm dollar cost averaging, or if I'm looking to add to a particular position, I'll take into consideration RSI. All right. Chart says use free. AG says thank you. Chart says he's right. Big shout out to y'all. Big shout out. So that's the thing right now. So very simple on my ExxonMobil trade. Just kind of plotting out this trend that I believe kind of started to the downside. And so I am in puts right now on ExxonMobil, and I'll show y'all in the Discord community that I got back in. So right here at 10:28 a.m. West Coast time, I got back in on those ExxonMobil puts. Right there, just like I said, I got in at 116.17, so it was tough. It was a bit unbearable. It was a rookie move. That's on me. That's my fault for getting into a trade right when J-Powell was about to talk. So we saw, just like we saw, I entered in right about here. Immediately after that, J-Powell started talking, and then unfortunately the market dropped down. So I'm gonna just kind of ride this trend down for as long as it's in the structure. As long as it doesn't break over to the other side of this line as time goes on, I'm gonna continue to ride those puts to the downside. Chart says, I want to know your opinion about algo indicators. I think they're very powerful. You know, there's a cat that I follow by the name of Kia Kili, who designed some super powerful indicators. I'll bring up his I'm trying to think what's the best way to bring up, but he has a website and a group. They're called Teach Trade, and they designed some very powerful ones. Let me see. And I'm not paid by them or anything like that. I'm only talking about my experience. I don't even know if Kia even knows who I am. We've interacted with each other a little bit, but this group right here, they've designed some pretty powerful algo indicators that have, like, at least from what I've been seeing, they've been pretty phenomenal and powerful. I do believe, though, that it takes a lot of intelligence. So this group of people, they had a whole team of people working on these, and they're constantly like updating the algos, keeping them sharp and keeping on top of it. And from what I've experienced with some people, that they built an algo and they never kept it sharp. They never kept giving it data. They never kept refining it. So eventually it stopped working. But if you're going to constantly cultivate it and build it up, then yeah, algos can be very profitable. Gains Guru says KNSL. Thoughts on that long-term outlook on KNSL, free or paid? So charts for the Teach Trade, they actually have a Discord community that is free. You could join the Discord community free to get in, but I do believe the algo is paid. Let's see if I can find it somewhere for you. Do a quick search. What was the name of it? What's the name of the algo? Oh, AutoStratic. It's called AutoStratic. Let me see if I can find that. And I haven't forgot about KNXL. All right. Let me see right here. So like I said, their community is free. They got an intraday trend algo that's free as well. And then they've got these two different ones. And they got a range rest reversal that's free. So they got two things that are free in terms of algos, and then these two right here, which are the really powerful ones. As you can see, they do have a monthly cost. There's a $40 one, and then there's a $100 one. I haven't paid for it. I'm in a few other communities with this creator, so I kind of just see them live in real time anyway. But from what I've seen, and I'm not paid by them or anything like that, but from what I've seen, it appears to be very powerful. It appears to be very powerful. So if Kia, if you see this, just know that, you know what I mean, I'm out here putting on for show charts, no problem. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for the follow. All right, Gains Guru, are you still in here? You wanted to talk about KNSL? I want to talk about KNSL. All right, let's go take a look. I feel like I had looked at this a few weeks ago, but let's go take a look at KNSL. I don't know. Every time I go live, my trading view just starts like whatever. All right, got 5 new messages. Let's look at Race, MedP, and KNSL. Then Gains Guru then dropped a whole playlist of ticker symbols to look at on us right now. We'll take them one at a time. All right, Kinsale Capital Group. It's this one right here, right? All right, let's take a look. Let's see what we're dealing with. So currently at about $378 a share. I'm not familiar with this company. It looks like they just had a recent huge drop down. Might be tied to their earnings. They beat earnings, but they missed on their revenue, about $15 million. I wonder if there's some other kind of underlying things going on with the company that earnings missed, why it just pushed them down that much. And it looks like they were doing okay. I mean, they were already kind of trending down even before their earnings, because they had this drop here. It was kind of trading sideways in this range, consolidating, and the earnings happened and they dropped down. Let's go to the daily chart. All right. Let's see. So they were up near $560 a share. Now we've got this gap that was formed due to their earnings release. There was a gap over here due to the other earnings. So I'm just doing a quick eyeball, Gains Guru. Just doing a quick eyeball. You don't trade this, you go long. Oh, okay. All right, we're talking about a whole other thing then. I'm glad you said that. Yes, I'm glad you said that. So in that case, all right, so whenever I'm recommended, and I'm glad you brought this up. So a big shout out to you, Gains Guru. I can't thank you enough for this kind of alley-oop and this segue, because I want to start incorporating more of my long-term thought process when I do live, as opposed just to the technical analysis when I do trades. So whenever I get a recommendation or somebody like Gains Guru says, hey, check out this company for the long term, the first place that I go to, the very first place that I go to when it's time for me to do long-term research on a company is a website I'm pretty sure most of us are familiar with, and it is called seekingalpha.com. And I start off with seekingalpha.com mainly because it's super easy for beginners to get like a summary or a grasp of a company. I start off with seekingalpha.com just to do a quick look at the company, what's it all about. So glad you said that. Glad you said about going long. Okay. So it's up 15% over the past 1 year. And then year to date, from the beginning of the year, it's up 13%. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of get familiar with the company. So if you're rocking with us right now, we're getting a look at what I like to look at in terms of potentially adding a company to my long-term portfolio. The first step that I do is I go to seekingalpha.com. And then let's read a little bit about what this company is or who this company is. So it's Kinsale Capital Group, Inc., a specialty insurance company engages in the provision of property and casualty insurance products in the United States. The company commercial lines offerings include commercial property, small business casualty and property, excess and general casualty, construction, allied health, life sciences, entertainment, energy, environmental, excess professional, healthcare, public entity, commercial auto, inland marine, aviation, ocean marine, and a whole lot of other things. So the long and short of this, so that I don't bore us all, but I do want to read what they're about, is they provide insurance services, more so on the commercial side. Never heard of this company. All right. So now just that first look, the next thing I want to take a look at, and this is just very top level, right? So if you're new to wanting to add things to your long-term portfolio and you just want a quick few things that you should be looking for, these aren't the only things. These are just some you want to make sure they're on your checklist. This is for new investors. This is for the beginners. I go to Seeking Alpha first. I read what the company's about, and then I go over to their financials and I head over to the cash flow statement. Now, what I'm about to spotlight is not the only things. These are just the starting points for me. And so after I look at their cash flow, the first thing that I look at is their net income, which is this top line right here. And so for those of us that don't know, net income is pretty much like synonymous or another word for profits, if you will. Now, I always kind of look back at 2019. Looks like they made $63 million in profit. I usually give a lot of companies a pass for 2020 for obvious reasons, right? And it looks like they made $88 million. So they still grew their profits in 2020, which is a good sign. Then they almost doubled it in 2021. They're still continuing to grow in 2022. And then look at 2023, $300 million. So they're growing net income pretty good. So that's one of the first things we want to look at. And this is for us baby new investors out there, all the noobs, all the newbies. When you're looking at a long-term company or something to add to your long-term portfolio, you want to head and look at their net income. And then the next thing we want to take a look at is what's known as their free cash flow. And so there's two versions of free cash flow. There's levered and unlevered. One takes your free cash flow after you've paid all your debts, like your minimum credit card payment, right? So just imagine if you're getting paid every 2 weeks, but you still have a credit card payment, you still got your cell phone bill, things like that you owe. One takes a look at that, including your debts, and then the other one takes a look at it without the debts inside. And so the long and short of it is we want to see free cash flow grow over time. The same way we saw the net income grow. So over here in 2019, free cash flow was 163 million. They grew it to 250, then the 422, then the 471, and then to almost $1 billion. So now I'm kind of getting excited now. Big shout out to Gains Guru. Big shout out to Gains Guru. So far, I like that their net income has grown since 2019. I like that their free cash flow is growing. So they got money on hand to handle expenses and things like that. And so those are some starting points when you first tip of the iceberg are looking at a company. Now what I like to do is I like to take a tip over. I like to kind of pivot really quick and go over to a website called tipranks.com. You want to head over to a website called tipranks.com. And so if you don't know about TipRanks, I use it for one thing and really one thing only, which is to see what are the analyst forecasts for a particular company into the future. And so TipRanks will give you a 12-month analyst forecast based off of the analysts that have reported on a company. All right, so I want to take a look. We've got Kinsale Capital. We want to click on not this dang ad that popped up. All right, so let me bring out the window a little bit. So according to TipRanks right now, they've got 6 analyst ratings. Nobody's talking about selling it. 4 of them are saying it's a hold and 2 are saying buy. And as of right now, the average of, let's get out of here. The average is $502 for the next 12 months. So based off of TipRanks, they're saying based on 6 Wall Street analysts offering 12 months price targets for Kinsale Capital Group Inc. in the last 3 months, they're saying the average price target is $502.25. which has a current 32% upside. So now I'm also very interested. So put a 1 in the chat if you're following along so far. Put a 1 in the chat if you're following along so far. Right now, we want to give a shout out to Gains Guru. He put us on game. He gave us a heads up about this potential stock called KNSL. This is an insurance company. They do a lot of like commercial type insurance. They've got good net income that's been growing over the last 5 years. And then their free cash flow has been growing. And then according to TipRanks right now, the average analyst price target over the next 12 months has a 32% upside. So they're saying that within the next year, it's going to go up to $502 a share. And currently right now, the company's at, let me move this, $378 a share. All right, Mocha Ray, thank you for putting 1. Gains Guru, thank you for putting 1. We got a small group tonight, but I like it. Gains Guru, I'll be tapping in with you, man. I'll be tapping in. It'd be nice to partner with you on some things. Just want to thank you one more time. Got to give credit where credit is due in terms of putting something new on our radar. All right, now, and this is where we're getting a little bit more thick. So this is the perfect example. You hear about a company that you haven't heard of before. You go over to Seeking Alpha, learn about what they do, look at their tip of the iceberg, very top financials, net income, free cash flow. Then you go over to TipRanks, see what the forecast is, And then now what we want to do, or at least in my process, and you can do these steps really in any order that you see fit, but this is just the way that I do it. I want to go and familiarize myself a little bit better with the company directly from their website. And I want to go take a look at their investor portfolio. Now, this kind of gets really kind of like boring, right? Because you got to read through all of these financial statements and things like that. But the number one thing that I want to be on the lookout for are any challenges or issues for the future that the company has already spotlighted. All right, let's see. So we want to check out for their investor relations. We'll go to the overview. Let me shrink this down a little bit. If you're new to the chat, we've already kind of reviewed the trades of the day. I can go over those in a moment. We traded ExxonMobil and we traded Amazon. But right now we're taking a look at this company, Kinsale Capital Group, for a potential addition to our long-term portfolios. Now, I hope Gains Guru, I hope you don't judge me too hard for this right now, but a big criterion for me is not an absolute necessary or a make or break, but a big criterion for me is if a company pays dividends, and they do. Oh, snap. Okay. Now we talking. Now we are talking right now. So, all right, let me just take a side step right now. I know that dividend investing can be one of those things where people don't really care for it, especially if the company is having a lot of capital gains. But I do like to find companies that not only have good capital gains, but they pay a little something in dividends. You know, give me a little reward for holding on to your company. Give me a little something. Now, just to spotlight this right here is really good. So if you don't know about a payout ratio, this is for new dividend investors. If you don't know what the payout ratio is, the payout ratio is the amount of money the company has to pay out from their revenues in the form of dividends to their shareholders. So when you see this percentage, I want you to think about it like $100. So for every $100 this company makes, they only have to pay out $4.20 in the form of dividends to their shareholders. And they're left with about $95, $96 to do what they need to grow the company to expand. What I'm trying to say is you do not want your payout ratio to be high. You want a low payout ratio. You want something that's way far away from 100. A good rule of thumb is anything under 40% should be pretty good, pretty solid. But this is pretty phenomenal. A 4.2% payout ratio. I haven't seen something this low in a long time. So this is really good. Basically, they're making money and they only need to take a little bit to pay their shareholders, which is good. And they're left with a whole lot of money to continue to grow the business. And then we see here on top of that, they've been growing their dividend for the past 7 years. So if you're a dividend investor, just imagine for 7 years straight, you've been getting a raise. But instead of having to go in to deal with meetings and traffic and all that kind of stuff with a regular job, all you had to do is just buy some shares. And here you are. Over the last 5 years, you've grown and got a 14% raise just to do nothing. So hope y'all are rocking with me. I know I'm throwing out a lot of information, but I just wanted to double check to see if the company pays dividends. So I've been looking for another company to add to my dividend portfolio. I only want to check one more thing. Just want to see what sector they are officially classified to be in. And it is in financials. Now that's tough because I already have 2 financials in my portfolio and I'm not necessarily looking for any more, but I might have to give this some serious consideration. Thank y'all for coming through. Thanks for coming through the live. Yo, Mike, thanks for the follow. So like I was saying, the next step would be to go to the company's actual investor relations page and then start reading through their financial statements. And the number one thing I want to be on the lookout for are any issues or challenges that the company is either upfront about or something that they may be trying to hide in their expenses or something like that. But that's the long and short of what I would look at. Now, Gains Guru, if you're still rocking with me, if you're still in here, and it looks like you are, this I definitely have just first look, first analysis. I have some good thoughts. I'm liking this. I'm going to put this on the watch list, and I may even consider swapping it out for one of the other companies that I have in my financial section in my long-term portfolio. So appreciate that. Yes. Incognito says JPM is all you need. JPM is a pretty solid financial company to have if you're looking for a financial, they are one of the top banks. And so I wanted to let you guys know what my overall investing kind of thesis or theme is. So my overall investing thesis or theme and it is nothing too fantastic, but essentially what I'm trying to find are the top 2 companies in each sector of the stock market. So if you're new to the stock market and investing, the stock market consists of 11 main sectors, right? 11 main categories. So you've got financials, you've got consumer staples, you've got consumer discretionary, you've got healthcare, you've got utilities, you've got industrials, you've got materials, all those different categories, right? Those are the different sectors of the stock market. My goal is to find the top 2 companies in each sector. And so that's the long and short of it. Gains Guru says, of the best stocks on the market. I'm not too sure what you mean. You've got the best stocks on the market. That's what it sounds like you're about to say. You're trying to say. But yes. So I'm adding Kinsale Group to the watch list. Would love to have. I'm gonna tap in with you, Gains Guru. I'm gonna chop it up with you about a couple things. But yes. So I do want to give a shout out and give credit where credit is due. And so I'm actually gonna do it real time right now on my Discord. Let's see, at PI University on TikTok Live, and got a potential stock we all should look at. KNSL was mentioned by a user named Gains Guru on TikTok. Company looks good. Boom. And then I would drop in some links so people are just not blind. But yeah, Gains Guru, we would love to have you in the Discord, man. Come on through. I've been wanting to talk more about long-term portfolios, or long-term on my TikTok lives. Usually when I go on TikTok live, I just do trading recaps. But yeah, appreciate it. Gains Guru, thanks for the follow, man. Thank you for the follow. All right. So that was good. I'm glad I got a chance to do that. I don't really get to talk about long-term investing in the long-term portfolio too often. But I know Gains Guru had gave us a whole playlist of things that he wanted to potentially take a look at. He said race, MedP, KNSL. But what I do want to do for anyone who's new, if you want me to do a trade recap on the trades that I took today, just give me a 1 before I move on. Just want to give everybody the opportunity. If you're in here right now, user 46773798966620. Thank you for the follow. But if you want me to do a trade recap, please let me know before I move on. If you just joined the live or anything like that, give me a 1 in the chat if you want me to do a trade recap. We had 2 trades of the day. I called Amazon calls, a very sharp scalp right in here, which was very crazy. The more I think about it, that's very wild. Did a very sharp scalp, and then Exxon puts as well. Actually, I double dipped on Exxon puts, so we saw this strong bearish momentum, which is pretty much standard what we saw across the board for the whole market. And so I landed on XOM because I saw this kind of daily downward trend that actually started a few days even before I drew this line right here. But when I saw these strong bearish candles, 11111 from user 4673798966620. All right, so for those of you that have already been on, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to just do a quick trade recap for this TikTok audience member. So I'll start off from the Discord. Let's go to the trading chat room, and I'll continue with Exxon. All right, so, and then just to give you a heads up, I'm in California. I'm on the West Coast. So if you're looking at your chart or if you're looking at my timestamps, just keep that in mind. So at 8:03 this morning, I talked about entering, let me see, at 8:03 this morning, or 7:45, my bad. 7:45 this morning, I let the squad know, I let the team know that I was in Exxon Mobil puts. That's ticker symbol XOM. And then I think this will be easier if we put this on the 15-minute chart. I mainly just look at the 30-minute. I'm a scalper, but as we can see, very, very bearish, very bearish, of course. And we already knew this, right? The market was very bearish to start off the day. And as we saw in my alert, right at about 7:45, right about here, is where I entered in puts, just following that very easy to identify trend and momentum to the downside. I got into puts, and then I quickly took profits. Right here. So I was in that trade for just about 15 minutes, a little more than 15 minutes, and then I took profits. But I want to offer some rationale about what happened. So this is what happened on that trade that I told my Discord community. I entered XOM as a swing trade idea, but ultimately felt like I should have had a better entry, which caused me to exit early. I don't think it would be a bad idea to ride the trend line down on the daily chart until it breaks trend structure. So if we see here, this is the daily chart that I was talking about, and we've got 1, 2, kind of like 3 points on this trend line down. And so my thoughts are just to ride that trend. Let me change it to the daily chart just to continue to ride this trend down that was kind of formed here, if y'all can see that. We had this nice run upside, break of structure to come down. It broke structure again to come up. And so I'm just riding this trend down. It's a little tight. I'll admit that it's a little tight as of right now. This is the daily chart, but I'm just going to ride it down until it officially breaks to the other side of this line. For sure. You're welcome. User says they're out in Tennessee. Okay. All right, who's all still in? Who's rocking with me? I see Mark Nori. Big shout out. Thanks for rocking. Thanks for coming through. But yeah, so I wanted to come through. User says you use Webull. Yeah, I'll be working my way over to Webull. It's about time that I leave Robinhood. It's about time for me to grow up and graduate. But yeah, so I wanted to tap in, do a quick live. I know it's a little late into the evening, depending on where you're at, if you're on the East Coast especially. But come through. You can join the Discord community. You get the first 30 days free. And then we have a whole wealth of resources and everything like that available to you. We have courses, we have quizzes to test your knowledge, just to keep you sharp. We have all kind of things in the Discord. And the really cool thing that I like is that each month I do an award giveaway. But other than that, I just want to thank everybody who took the time to rock with me on this TikTok live. It's your boy Curtis G, and I'll be tapping in with y'all. All right, peace.